now. People are talking about vibe coding tools, and then people say there's no need to study IT anymore. Anyone can be an engineer.
No, not exactly that way. You would still need training in computer science to create those tools. But those people whose job can be done using these tools, they are in trouble.
Do you think that job displacement phenomenon is happening?
It's happening.
Okay.
It's certainly happening. And
do you think India has or can ever have something like Harvard, Stanford, or that university from China?
I'll give you a politically correct answer to your question. And that is the following.
You don't have to.
Okay. No, but if I want to support India, I should be. Take the example of Tsinghua. He was one of the good products from IIT Madras. But then he went to Berkeley and got his PhD. Then he worked at Google, OpenAI, and DeepMind. Where did he get that depth necessary to launch Perplexity? In India, I believe there are 2 AAA fellows, but that's still 2.
But why is that?
The lack of investment in higher education and research. Google's first 1,000 employees were largely PhDs. I want to do Google here. Where am I going to get that talent?
Do you think there's someone like Arvind Srinivas right now in India who's building the next Perplexity out of India?
I am not aware.
Do you think all these startups like Sarvam, Krutrim, and all these startups that are coming in this space, they have a lot of PhD students in them. So why are they not able to create something like the Google or Perplexity as well?
Ask what leadership they have and what leadership have achieved beforehand. And then you have an answer.
He's basically saying that the next NVIDIA should come from India.
It should.
Yeah.
But what are we willing to invest? Where is the talent?
How has Bangalore been treating you so far?
Bangalore is treating me with his traffic.
Yeah.
But otherwise, this seems to be the only place which has very hospitable weather.
Okay, yeah.
So, traffic, weather.
So when did you come to Bangalore? When did you arrive?
Day before yesterday.
Okay.
So I was here all day yesterday and now today.
Okay. So, I mean, what was your reason, if you can tell, about coming to Bangalore, India?
The reason was that I am engaged in a new initiative and Sharath Sharma is my one of the advisors for this initiative, and so I wanted to meet him.
Okay.
We also had and he's also advising another similar initiative called Focused Research Organization with Kapil. And then I had a meeting with Chris Gopalakrishnan.
Oh, okay, nice.
So getting just some advice and such. And then today in the art park.
Okay, yeah. So are you going to advise him, or how is he going to?
No, I'm trying to see how. So as you may remember that I did the AIMS Leadership Council.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the things that I'm passionate about is how to develop sovereign AI for India's strategic autonomy.
Yeah.
And one of the things is, the main requisite for that is for having that high-end talent.
Okay, yeah.
You need that high-end talent for creating the new technology, for creating sovereign technologies. Otherwise, you just would get technology from the West and China and do small updates and build your service industry.
So do you think that knowledge or the students, that workforce is not there in India right now? Or
so the training for that high end is very limited. See, one of the reasons I met, I came here is that Sharath Sharma has been talking about India as a product nation.
Yeah.
The day before, I visited Ajay Chaudhary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Goa.
Yeah.
And he also is an advisor, and he's also talking about India as a product nation.
Yeah.
For India to become product nation, meaning that we have to have our own technology to create global products, which we have not done.
Yeah.
We have done well at industry, but we've not done global products. For that, you need deep technology.
Yeah.
Right? And deep talent.
Deep talent, yeah.
Right? So, for example, I visited China couple of times. I was once having a dinner with the dean at the Tsinghua University.
Okay,
This is their top university there, right? And I look at the investment, not just the infrastructure, but the funding available for them to train PhD students or very high-class master students.
Do you think India has something like that university? Who would you pick? Like you're from BITS Pilani, and then you went to Ohio, and then there's so many IITs. So do you think India has or can ever have something like Harvard, Stanford, or that university from China?
You know, I was earlier part of an initiative for which I had met Modi ji, and that was to create a world-class research university. Stanford, Berkeley have been, the reason why the Silicon Valley has succeeded, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you a political correct answer to your question, and that is the following.
You don't have to.
Okay. No, but if I want to support India, I should be.
Yeah.
Take the example of Amit Sheth. He was one of the good products from IIT Madras.
Yeah.
But then he went to Berkeley and got his PhD.
Yeah.
Then he worked at Google, OpenAI, and DeepMind.
Yeah.
Where did he get that depth necessary to launch Perplexity? Not as an undergraduate here. He was good. So that Berkeley could give him admission and funding, as I do to many students.
Yeah.
But it was the US ecosystem that trained him in the depth that allowed him to take up a project or something that he says he wants to compete and beat Google in search.
Yeah.
But he could not have done it here, right? The training that he had done, so that deep expertise to create products is not here. So yes, India creates a lot of good talent that are good for getting admission in the top universities.
So if you think about it, then all these universities have been here for the last century. Even Stanford and Harvard are even older. So it has been, 100 saal ho gaye and everything, but why are we still not able to train people to build something in India? Why do they still have to go abroad?
It comes down to the very basic thing. How much investment are we making in research?
Yeah.
How much investment we are making in higher education? Our elite institutions are great at producing great undergraduate students. And they can, that means they can train engineers.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they can train people with deep talent necessary for creating global products.
Okay.
So basically, we have, the talent we have created has helped India's service industry. We have this IT service industry success story. That is not the necessary. That's not sufficient for the product level. Activity.
Yeah.
So we want deep tech AI driven products to create global class products.
Yeah.
In that whole path, we are not yet reached the starting point, which is doing great research.
Yeah.
See, today, more papers come from China than any other country.
Yeah.
Far more, more than US. There is US. Where is India? So I go to a conference. One of our top conferences, AAAI.
AAA. Yeah.
I noticed there that for every 10 or 15 papers, India has one.
I mean, you have a lot of papers as well. I think you have one of the highest H index in the world.
No, but I achieved that in US ecosystem.
Okay.
I want that to achieve. We need to achieve that in the US ecosystem, Indian ecosystem.
Yeah.
In India, I believe there are 2 AAA fellows.
Yeah.
We can world standing. These 2 are, considered to be very good.
Yeah.
But that's fine too.
But why is that? I mean,
the lack of investment in higher education and research. See, let me put it another way. Technology relatively is measured by these TRL levels, technology readiness level. 1 to 3, basic research. 4 to 7, applied. And 7 to 9 technological transformation to product to deployment.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
1 to 3 is typically 5 years horizon.
Okay.
And if you stretch it inversely, maybe 4-5 years horizon. 4 to 7 is 2 to 3 year, 3+ years horizon. But if you really are very aggressive, maybe 2 to 3 year horizon.
Yeah.
And 7 to 9 is typically 2 to 3 years horizon. But if you really are very aggressive, maybe 1 or 2 year horizon.
Yeah.
Indian venture capitals have only chosen to fund that 7 to 9.
7 to 9. Yeah.
Indian industry has only chosen to do product tinkering for the next version, but not so much in creating ground up products.
If you look at the funding, like if it's like the ticket size is like 1 or 2 million in India, and if you compare the most recent funding to even Perplexity, Arvind Srinivas, he got some billions of dollars in just one round. So how can that funding change actually? I mean, that is not something that the government can put through. Maybe that is from the family offices. Some of them raised.
Let me go take a little old example.
Okay.
And in fact, this example happens to be one that I discussed at Modi ji 2009. Google in 2009 had valuation of $100 billion.
Yeah.
In 2008, Indian GDP was 1.1 billion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were talking.
So trillion.
Yeah.
1.1 trillion.
Yeah.
Now the point here is that what did it take for Google to come up? Google's first 1,000 employees were largely PhDs.
Yeah.
Right? I want to do Google here. Where am I going to get that talent? How many high-class PhDs we are creating, not PhDs in name.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you example now. The kind of students that I'm training. I just had a student who defended last week. He has more than 1,000 citations before he graduates.
Okay.
He has more than 40 publications before he graduates. He has received funding in his own name, small funding, but in his own name. He got a letter from a startup saying, "We'll give you $50,000 in your startup for academic position."
Yeah.
And he has mentored about 20 junior students, high school undergrads, and junior PhD students.
This was in University of Carolina.
No, this is in my university of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Right at my AI University of South Carolina.
Yeah.
And before that, actually today Manas Gaur was supposed to be here. He also has the same caliber, and he also got hired in a tier 1 university, where at this tier 1 universities you have 200 to 400 applications, even the US, and you got selected. That means you competed with the very top schools and got selected. But look at the profile.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Compare that profile with a typical PhDs we produce.
So is it because of the citations that they get, or is it the curriculum somewhere that is lacking in India?
No. First of all, it's about the ecosystem. Okay. I have developed an ecosystem where I consistently produce top-notch researchers and entrepreneurs. I have 1/3 of my, maybe more than 20% of my students are currently in senior positions or co-founder of companies.
But then
others who are in industry research,
yeah.
Others who are in academia in all tier 1 universities.
Why did you not set it up here in India?
That's what I want to do.
Can you explain
That's my proposal now.
Yeah.
I think today we are at a very interesting juncture where India has a, you can say, rising tide.
Okay.
There is genuine interest in growing technology and products in India. There is growing, there is certainly some funding for certain kind of companies.
Yeah.
Some of them are struggling, like the one you covered in your last one of the research pieces. But there are venture VCs out there. They are looking for technology. They are at least talking about supporting deep tech companies. Government is certainly promoting problem in the government funding is maybe bureaucracy and how they are measuring the success, because some of the investment has to be in the long-term things.
Yeah.
Just like China did. China had 1,000 scholar program. They got top-notch people from from US back to China.
Yeah.
And gave them $1 million each or some such amount, and let them create top-notch talent. That talent was available to DeepSeek.
Okay.
And so today we need to producing that kind of talent is going to take some time. IISc and IITs and others need research need to have a lot more research. They have some, but I think numbers are very small.
Do we need more ISCs, ITs, or AI startups?
Or
AI startups.
we need both, because you're not going to succeed in creating deep tech AI startups without creating top-notch talent. I am trying to take a shortcut right now and create, if possible, create a research organization, or at least support one if I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
Whereby a lot of people from US and would be available as mentors and guide, and and we will take top talent like Amit Sheth coming from IITs and Bix Pilani and ISC, and get them to the next level.
Do you think there's someone like Arvind Srinivas right now in India who's building the next perplexity out of India?
I am not aware of it.
Okay.
Now the scale, first of all, the funding that he got, how much he had matured by working in US ecosystem.
That is
his PhD, his 3 jobs.
Cool.
That we need to provide. We need to have research organizations that may take students from good colleges here or good universities here and bring up them to do research and innovation.
Do you think then someone
that can be done, and we can short circuit, the cost and the time it takes for all of these institutes to create that caliber of PhDs.
Okay.
And after PhDs also, doing PhD is not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Arvind did those, jobs at top places and worked with, in one of these interviews says that he worked with some of the world's smartest people at these companies, right?
Yeah.
We need to have places where, again, they can get that experience. So, basically, hands-on experience, working with top-notch people would be one part of the solution.
Do you think all these startups, like if I can name some of them, Sarvam, Krutrim, and all these startups that are coming in this space, what are your thoughts about them? Because they're also raising very less funds. They have a lot of PhD students in them. So why are they not able to create something like the Google or Perplexity as well?
Ask what leadership they have and what leadership have achieved beforehand. And then you have an answer. I'm not talking about the business leadership. These are all, some of them, like Kurtim has a successful business, person there, right? But I'm talking about the technical leader who really supervise all that activity and get the results, right? I mean, have they published in the top places?
No.
Have they been asked to give keynotes at the topmost conferences and, things? Have they trained PhD students that have already been successful?
No.
Okay. So, there is a saying in the business, A-grade people hire A-grade people, but B-grade people hire C-grade people.
Okay.
So, in general, what I'm saying is that and even if, let's say, their leaders are great, what is the pool of people that they have available that are so well trained? Arvind had, what are the pool of people that Arvind has available where he has the company? What are the pool of people that Sarvam has available when they are doing the company? So, in fact, what I would like to do, if possible, is to create, let me talk about narrow issue of AI only.
Yeah. That is something I want to ask you. What should the people focus on in India as well? So, like you talk about neurosymbolic AI as well a lot. So if you can talk about that a little bit.
I'll talk about that also. So there are 2 issues. What should you, focus on in AI itself?
Yeah.
And then how do you go about doing it?
Yeah.
So in my view, in the AI, I was asked to give a keynote at the third conference of chief secretaries. So there are 150 to 200, IS officers, including Secretary of MeitY, Secretary of DST, all the top-notch people there, and principal secretaries and many other people. And I gave that talk, and I focused on saying, what should India can focus on, where India can lead.
Yeah.
Whenever I've done my companies or whenever I train my students, I say, what is it that you have that others don't? If you can't ask that question, you won't get, to be leader, right? So you have to figure out a thing where you have a strength and you are doing something that is a business value, commercial value, we can make impact in academia or in industry.
Yeah.
So I've been focusing now not on the LLM space.
Yes. Yeah.
There are so many LLMs and they have massive amount of funding, and Meta can afford to give 100 million startup, to join, right?
Yeah.
But we can't do that. So don't go there. I would say focus on enterprise AI. So first is enterprise AI, where you take data, knowledge, and human expertise to solve a very specific problem. Problem could be in manufacturing of particular type of manufacturing.
Yeah.
Problem could be in health. Problem could be in nutrition. Whatever topics. Problem can be in semiconductor. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you take those problems and create, and we are named this custom, compact, neo-symbolic models. So these are focused models solving some
specific
problem with deep knowledge about that problem with high quality results, as opposed to LLMs that would have massive amount of hallucination.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of space there because you can build an IP, but the cost of building that IP would be much smaller than LLMs.
Yeah.
And you solve the problem, and then recently Gartner also came out with a report that essentially supports this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's second big opportunity India has is that India has world's best digital infrastructure.
Okay.
Leverage that.
Yeah.
So if I can come up with AI-based applications and product that, then I have identity solution, I have digital stack, I could deploy at scale. So that could be the second big opportunity. And the longer term opportunity I see is more in the embodied AI.
Okay.
Because after AI, the next big thing is going to be in robotics, both humanoids and industrial robots.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so get ready. So you are taking a area where there is no yet a global leader and the market is not mature. But you can put a bet on that and then be ready by then.
I just had one question, Professor. So if you're saying that we have the best infrastructure when it comes to
digital part.
Yeah. And then at the same time, you were also earlier talking about Sir Ajay Chaudhary, about how he talks about not being the use case capital of the world. And at the same time, there's Nandan Nilekani. He talks about being the use case capital of the world. So don't you think these two ideas are a little contradictory to each other? And how can we build, like, taking both of them together? Meanwhile, Western companies are also coming into India, like OpenAI is partnering with India Mission, and they're going to do something.
I mean, look, if you suppose I'm doing a startup, I need to understand there is a market or not. So to understand market and define the market, you have to have use cases. So that part is also, given.
Okay.
I am not sure from what perspective Ajay is talking about whatever he did.
He's basically saying that the next NVIDIA should come from India, something like that. Next Google or NVIDIA.
It should.
Yeah.
But what are we willing to invest? Where is the talent of that?
It all comes back to talent. Yeah.
It all comes back to talent. You have to invest in talent. And there you can't put in some money and ask for quarterly deliverables.
Yeah.
See, there's a problem. For example, I'm talking to all of these, people who lead research organizations like the Art Park and many others. That's one of the reasons why I'm in India, to talk to them and understand.
Yeah.
And I think that the money that should be invested here, you get great leader and then let them do their job. Not ask for a quarterly report of did you tick mark this, micro level of the things. Don't do micromanagement of these things. You get the great people and give them the charter, give me, and then you look at it after a year or 2 years or 3 years. You're not going to,
एक क्वेश्चन आई हैव टू आस्क यू, लाइक मेरे दिमाग में तब से चल रहा है। आप जब मोदी जी से मिले थे 1 साल पहले, तो और आप उसके पहले 20 साल पहले भी मिले थे, तो उसमें और अभी में क्या डिफरेंस था जो आपने बात किया?
No, look, I met him 50 years ago. I met him 3 times when he was chief minister, and I met him now.
Yeah.
By any means, he's a phenomenal leader. Think about a leader who has spent 15 years going from one house to another house to another house and actually have lived with the people. So his understanding of India is unparalleled. Nobody, you might have somebody, and politics is not my subject, so I don't want to go into politics per se. But as a person, he is, very unique.
Yeah, definitely.
Growing up, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is, he is the best listener that I've come across in my lifetime.
Listener.
Okay. When I met him 3 times, each of them were 1-hour meeting, and they're one-on-one. For me, I'm a professor or entrepreneur doing technical work, and a person who is doing politics and a political leader, having the capacity to listen to somebody like that and get, pay full attention and understand. Typically before Modi ji, when I met, politicians, there'll be 50 people running around in their office and coming here with a note and, somebody else wants to meet or Modi just attention.
Why do you think he called you? और अगर आप बता सकते हो थोड़ा बहुत about what was the conversation about, at least
the earlier times I reached out to him saying I was passionate about building a research university, or at least seeing India build a research university, whether I do it or not.
Yeah.
And this was exactly for creating the talent, because I gave you the example that Google could hire majority of the first 1,000 people that were PhDs from Stanford, Berkeley, and top places.
Yeah.
When if India even had the money and the idea to build NVIDIA, where is that talent? Now, actually, NVIDIA kind of thing may be possible because 10% or somewhere between 10 and 30% of people designing semiconductors are of Indian origin, and if you can possibly bring them there. So there is that possibility.
Yeah.
So some of the things you are already ready to do that. So many Indians have are at a very important positions and in many industries. So yeah, you can tap into that. So that will be there.
So is the plan is it in process? When is the university? Where is it going to be?
Not the university now, because building the university takes 15-20 years. Well, the fastest world-class university development was with National University of Singapore.
Okay.
It took 15 years of massive investment and excellent decisions in getting the leadership for them to build that.
Okay.
Doing that in India, I'm not sure is possible at this stage. But what could be done is to take the great products that we have from undergraduates and give them that other part that Arvind Srinivas had in US.
Okay.
If I can create a place where I have world-class people working, and the students and postdocs and others come, and I can train them to that next level, that would be great. Now I would have the talent that that company was looking for.
So it's like a reverse brain drain, something like that.
You have one of the, I think, objective is to fastest way to see. China got this 1,000.
But what would be the incentive?
Scholar program, and the same here.
What would be the incentive for people over there who are making millions working on AI?
Well, take my example. If I were to come here and I'm given the maximum available, I'll still be making 20% of what I'm making there. So I would like to do it for the opportunity. I like to do it for potential of making huge impact.
Okay.
And that satisfaction. So Indians who might have been anywhere still have remained Indians at heart. That has happened, right? It's something cultural about it, right?
Yeah.
And now not everybody will come. If you're making $1 million at Meta, and you are 30 years old, maybe you don't want to come. You still want to make that money and all that. But then there are many of us who can retire if you want to.
Yeah.
And still have a lot of energy left.
Okay.
And then some are coming because there is some unique time. Currently, US is not very hospitable.
That is also there. I want to ask you. Okay.
So this is once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
That whether they are not getting OPT, whether they are not getting H1B, whether not they getting green card, whether they are afraid that their naturalized citizen will be affected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With all that, I think there is not all, but there may be maybe 5% of them, which are a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people
saying I must look at it, and I will give you a very concrete example. My students have done exceptionally well in India. Sorry, in US.
In US, yeah.
But for the first time this year, and I happen to be graduating 7 or 8 PhDs just in this year.
Oh, wow.
Because, last few years I was just building the pipeline. I asked my students to come and interview in India.
Oh.
So actually, I have one student right now who is interviewing at IITs and other good universities right now.
Oh, okay.
And actively considering. 3 years ago, I don't think that I would have convinced her to do this.
Why is that?
The time is such that people, as I said, many of people don't see US to be hospitable. Additionally, US is seeing massive cut in research funding.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So National Science Foundations and National Institute of Health have received a funding cut of the tune of 50%.
Okay, why is that?
Think about it.
Yeah. Do you know why that is happening?
That is the government's priority. So they want to spend money somewhere else.
So not on research.
Look, US is successful and China is successful because they have put a lot of money in research. So they have core foundational ability that then gets into applied and then that gets into products. This is a long-term return for investment in research, and what they have done is to cut, really handicap research. So suppose that student who is considered coming back to India, she already has a offer from US academia, which is very prestigious. To get getting academic position in US is not easy. But if you are not getting funding, that means you cannot attract top-notch students. Today, I spent $300,000 in training every PhD student. 50,000 a year, 6 years on average.
Yeah.
All that 300,000 has to come from my own grants. There's no government direct funding, no university direct funding for PhD students.
Yeah.
So I had to write proposals to National Science Foundation, to National Institute of Health, and then I get that funding, and then I'm able to hire the PhD students. Now, if I'm not getting that funding, I'm not going to be able to hire PhD students.
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to be able to do great research.
Okay.
So if India, and at least I'm very delighted that India is making some very right progress, like ANRF.
ANRF, yeah.
If ANRF and its CEO brings the right experience, if they can really regularize and they make a merit-based funding, research funding, like US's National Science Foundation, where you have a panel of peers who reviewed technical proposals, right?
Yeah.
So if we can also do that, where not the government bureaucrat decides to give money to only their favorite institution or just a few professors making their choices.
Yeah.
Instead, really genuine technical panels recommending and the government following that. And I think they want to, from what I heard,
the India mission, they're also little bit trying to do that.
Yes, India mission is trying to do that, and DST is being somewhat updated, but particularly this ANRF, and of course they are connected, right?
Yeah.
I think we are hopeful. If they do that, on one side there is this massive problem going on in US.
Yeah.
On the other side, there is this hope that there is increased research funding and the fundings are allocated on merit basis.
Yeah.
I think India will win big time.
I have a question from the other side on this. I think a lot now, since ChatGPT happened, now DeepSeek happened, now people are talking about vibe coding tools. And then people say there's no need to study CS anymore, IT anymore. Anyone can be an engineer. Do you think that is possible? Do you think that is true?
No, not exactly that way. There is Nia's view. I'd like to present to you. You would still need training in computer science to create those tools.
Okay.
But those people whose job can be done using these tools, they are in trouble.
So, a point to
no, I mean, so, for example, if you are a core basic programmer, suppose you get masters in computer applications, MCA, or bachelors in applications, and you are taught some programming course, and that also a programming course that was designed 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you would have no market value.
That is right. Yeah.
So, I, for example, teach my students not to learn, but learning how to learn.
Okay.
Right?
Do you think there's a difference between when you studied in BITS Pilani and what BITS Pilani is teaching now? Like, you must have observed something. Like, is there any difference? Is AI being taught enough? Is AI being used to taught enough? How is the difference like right now?
In Indian education?
In BITS Pilani, for example, where you study after that?
No, there is improvement, and yet there is also realization that curricula are not updated enough.
Okay.
Not updated enough regularly.
Yeah.
And especially a typical college would have to make sure that your curriculum is updated at the last, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Think about prompt engineering.
Exactly.
Was a prompt engineering there 3 years ago? Wasn't there, right? So, and that is a simple thing. But there are so many things that you have to learn. And this, you have to learn the latest things. And if you don't have any market value. If you can't keep up with the technology, if you can't learn to use tools very effectively, and you can't have that high-end productivity, it'll be very hard to get a job.
Do you think it's enough for me to learn prompt engineering white code?
Not at all. Not at all. Because prompt engineering will next year be, replaced by another tool.
Okay.
Even now, last year prompt engineering was a big deal. Now you can get a lot of help in writing good prompts and don't have to spend a lot of time writing a prompt. This is changing very fast.
Yeah.
So that's why I said learning how to learn.
Learning how to.
You see, if you learn prompt engineering, that'll be outdated. But now next is the one thing after that, and you figure out how to learn online.
Yeah.
See, think about learning. Let's say, suppose you want to do large language model development from scratch.
Okay.
It is unlikely that you've been going to be taught in a classroom.
No, not at all.
But Indic and several other people's tutorials are available. 3 hours long tutorials to do hands-on development of this thing, right?
Yeah.
You'll have to do that, and that is learning how to learn. You figured out that using RAG and fine-tuning is not adequate skill to get a good job. You figure out that company expects that you can train model from scratch. Then you need to be able to pick up that skill. You go to these online lectures, you do hands-on, labs and other things, and now and then you prove yourself you can do that.
Yeah.
And now you'll be right for the market, and that may be just for getting the job.
Yeah.
You have to continue doing that in the job.
Yeah.
If you want to retain that job. Otherwise, again, the next batch of trained people will come and you'll be replaced.
Yeah. So all these people, you must have seen that most of the authors of the paper, attention is all you need, the transformer people. I mean, not most of them, some of them are Indian. And like you gave an example of Under Kapati right now and Arvind Srinivas as well. So I remember we were trying to make a list of top 100 engineers, someone like Andre Kapati in India. And it's very hard to find more than 10, 15 people that we know of on the top of our head. So,
Fine.
when is that going to change according to you?
That is why I am hoping that we'll create a focus research organization which would have a lot of people, that would be reverse migration.
Yeah.
And combined with the top talent here. And we need both researchers and engineers at one place, then bring the best PhD students, master's students, and postdocs,
Yeah.
and get them together so that in 2, 3, 4 years, you would have very highly trained people, and we would have created an ecosystem where we'll, I've been able to train very high class PhDs.
Yeah.
If I can do it here now, I can get 5 or 10 other top notch
Yeah.
educators and researchers here,
Yeah.
and we work together hands on, and do brainstorming every day, create very high end projects, R&D projects, work with companies and their needs, and give hands on experience in developing that deep technologies.
Yeah.
Then I think we can bootstrap this faster.
Okay. So, how do you get the motivation to do all this at the same time? Ek saath? Like you're doing a lot of things at the same time. So, where does that motivation, that inspiration comes?
Yeah, there is to be I have a Gurukul kind of system for my academic system.
Okay.
And I, big document that says what I expect. What does it mean? Rather than a student coming into working with a faculty and getting advisor at arm's length, I get a very close-knit system.
Okay.
And in that Gurukul, one of the first things I written is that you have to work as hard as you have to commit to work as hard as or harder than your advisor, me.
Okay.
Then only plan to join my team. So I'm like that energizer. There used to be an advertiser. There's energizer and there's a bunny.
Okay.
And go, it'll be very energetic kind of stuff. So I have managed to have, a lot of energy. But more importantly, it is all because the satisfaction I get from my job. So my highest priority is to train students with that are capable of making exceptional careers. So I get most satisfaction from that job.
Yeah.
Followed by other things like I've done companies, co-founded 4 companies.
Yeah.
So that is also exciting, and followed by some other things. But because I define my success in terms of success of the people I train or advise or guide or mentor, and because I've been seeing their success, it gives me a lot of energy.
Why did you transition from being an entrepreneur to this?
No, I did it together. It's a unique case. So my first 3 jobs were industry jobs.
Yeah.
I had publications and I had commercial products. Then I went to academia because I wanted to have full freedom of doing what I wanted to do. And since I also thought I would be able to create the resources like funding to do research myself.
Okay. Yeah.
So I went to academia, and then because I had exposure to a practical thing in industry, when I did research where I saw a market need,
Yeah.
I said, let's spin off a company.
Okay.
So I did all 3 of my 4 companies are licensing my own research to spin off the company.
Okay.
And in many of the cases, my own students joined.
Do you think then right now, do you think there's enough push from someone apart from you as well who's pushing this? Do you have anyone in your mind that comes, someone who's doing something similar to you in India?
In India?
Yeah.
There are places of excellence in India, mostly excellence in terms of publication. So I can name maybe 4 or 5 people who will publish 2, 3 papers or more at the top conference. But I can't name many of them, first of all. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, those who publish don't necessarily take it to the next level. They publish, they know how to write paper very well, and the students help. Is that skill and experience translated to the students? Are their students trained as well as them, so that when they go out on their own, they are as good as they are? So that has to be there also. Not that you as a professor is successful, your students are trained so well that they are also successful, like you are, if for those good professors. And then other thing is that you want to see the real world impact. Training great students is a real world impact, but then also getting the technology get into the market. Through startups, to companies, helping companies, that should also be the case. So, I think not as much of that is happening, but right here I met professors at ISC who are doing companies. That is more of a recent phenomena, and that's fantastic. It started to happen. Whether it's happening at the fast enough place for this large country, I don't know. It's happening for sure.
Okay. I think you must have heard that there was a statement made recently that Indian startups have a fancy ice cream problem. I don't know if you've heard. Do you think that statement, something like that, do you think instead of startups, there's something lacking in the policy or from the support side? I mean, is there something lacking here or is there something lacking here when it comes to...
Look, I feel that the government is doing very good job in promoting TRL 7 to 9.
Okay. Yeah.
So there is a lot of support for startup. The new fund that has come up, with ANRF, DST, from a 1 lakh kind of thing. That's a great, investment in country. Only thing is that is necessary but not sufficient. It's necessary to support whatever ideas there are, whatever market opportunity to get into this TRL 7 to 9.
Okay. Yeah.
Where is the investment in TRL 1 to 3 or 4 to 7?
I think that is more important.
That needs to be there. I think all levels are important. See, if you don't put into 4 to 7, then the core research idea don't translate into the application. If you don't put in 1 to 3, the foundational research, that means you're not even creating the innovators.
Exactly.
Then they will only do services and short-term thing. They will be doing engineering hack. They'll be doing, So for people to come up with new earth-shaking ideas that can make global products, you do need to invest in the TRL level 1 to 3. That is very little.
Okay.
4 to 7 we have more, and 7 to 9 we have the most investment.
Okay.
I wouldn't say do anything less of that. That's great. And so a number of the schemes, so the India AI mission, AI, India AI, in METI, they are coming up with this fast monthly thing, and we did not have that before.
We know.
So that is excellent.
Why do you think that happened? Is it because of the DeepSeek movement that happened? I mean, now the government is stepping.
It is DeepSeek, but you can see that in this government, the quality of top decision makers has continued to improve. I mean, I have very high, because whenever I make the lead trip and when I went to meet Modi ji and this keynote I gave, all the secretaries I met, very hardworking, very passionate. So that has really done well. So those choices have been great, I believe, and they are the ones who are able to come up with this initiative. But then the management at the next level may not be that enlightened and that trusting for people to do the right thing in government money. So the problem is that people think that government money has to have a lot of leash. But the people who are holding the leash may not be so aware of what exactly is necessary to succeed. So they need to have more play in the leash and let people find their way and succeed, and then hold them accountable on a broad level, not on nitty-gritty level.
I think if I'm right, then one of the examples of it can be like most of the startups right now in India are focused on building Indic language AI models. But that is not something that can be used globally. Do you agree with that? Or
I think the emphasis on Indic language is valuable. It is valuable in the sense of the larger good, public good. But it is not that valuable in terms of monetization, in terms of creating high value outcomes. So the return, financial return on that would be limited in the shorter term. The social good in the long term, it has value, and we have to do it. Nobody else is going to do that.
Yeah.
So our diversity, language diversity, cultural diversity, those things deserve the attention, but just you need to understand that from a market perspective, you have to do something for public good, and that is what you're doing, not building viable profit-making companies.
So when Professor Amit, we say that no one else is going to do it, but at the same time, Google, OpenAI, and all these companies are actually coming into India and also trying to build Indic use cases. How do we compete with them? I mean,
so that is where Google and others are spending their money. If they see that eventually the adoption of their search or other things, services and apps will increase for people in that sense, they will do that. So, but I think their attention will be somewhat limited, and they have to justify that the value. They may not necessarily, for example, have that much interest in culture.
Yeah.
There may be one or two research at Google that may be interested in that, but not as a mainstream work.
Okay.
And for that, Indians should pay attention to that. And I think there are many capable people. I think number of people working on Indic language issues I think is pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
And I think that we are doing reasonably good progress there. No complaints, no concerns there.
Okay.
We are going to get that and that problem solved reasonably well.
Okay.
People are collecting so much data, they're labeling so much data. All that is happening. The AI coach is there distributing all that data, and those are a fantastic thing. Yeah. AI course, the 35,000 GPU, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So infrastructure-wise, government has done great job. Now these, the TDP, recent announcement from DST for that, at-risk funding and TL's 678 funding, that is good.
That is good, yeah.
Now what remains is creating great innovators.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the biggest thing, followed by creating applications, repeating the digital India success to AI digital India success.
Okay.
That is it.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to students who are coming out of colleges in India right now, or who are getting into colleges, want to get into AI?
The main advice would be that don't try to get a shortcut your education and training, because the things that are relatively easy to do are being automated.
Something.
And if you are a basic programmer, you will not have a job. If you are a content editor, you will not have a job. People who are filming advertisement, they won't go to location. They will create video in Silicon. So invest into get deep expertise and knowledge. Like the example is, let's say, don't just limit yourself to RAG and relatively simple of the RAG or prompting and some basic fine tuning.
Yeah.
Learn to create the model from scratch. Learn to solve very specific problem and understand why the LLMs are inadequate.
Yeah.
So and then you so get the high-end skill and expertise and learn how to learn.
Yeah.
And you are safe. But you just learn skill and are fossilized or not really growing day to day.
Yeah.
You'll be in trouble. So there is a lot of attention to skill development, but you will be careful because skills can get outdated very fast. So when you do skill development, whether they would all have jobs, you have to be careful and really mindful that skill can be replaced very fast.
Do you think that job displacement phenomenon is happening?
It's happening.
Okay.
It's certainly happening, and there are people. I'll give you an example of a company that I'm currently advising. This company happens to be in healthcare arena, and they have done exceptional use of LLM in writing a extremely detailed prompt. that prompts are written by people with deep knowledge of the healthcare domain.
Okay.
And that has not required a computer science expert to write the prompt.
Okay.
And they are getting what they want right now, at least.
Just by vibe coding, if you can say.
Just by, effectively using the LLM.
Yeah.
And it so happens that for that healthcare knowledge, some LLMs, in this case, it happens to be, well, let me not make the Indian product, is trained well with the healthcare knowledge.
Okay. Yeah.
So in that case, that LLM is doing very well here. But see what was required. Off-the-shelf service that has become cheaper and cheaper, the cost for token per million tokens. And the second thing is that domain knowledge and the knowledge of the problem to be solved.
Yeah.
You do not need an army of programmers to do that. That the same entrepreneur had a prior company where they had a lot more programmers doing this.
Yeah.
So this is for real.
Do you also still do coding? Like
me personally?
Yeah.
No, I have not done to do that. But I do reviews.
Okay.
And I do ask them to educate me.
Yeah.
What they need and why they need it and what is. So because for me, it's a big challenge to learn, to keep up to date.
Yeah.
It is very easy to get outdated at my, I'm a, so after what, 35, 40 years since I completed my formal education.
Yeah.
So you can become outdated very fast. So I'm always worried that technology will overtake me and I will not have enough knowledge to guide my students.
Yeah.
So I work hard to keep myself up to date with the latest, but that does not necessarily require learning how to code. That requires knowing all the coding friends. And so I just sent, by the way, a message to my team.
Yeah.
Saying that all of you must start using heavily, LLMs for coding. A couple of good example I gave to them. And I said, when I'm back on Friday, review with me how you are using technology for coding. I don't want them to do the coding that they did coding 3 years ago.
Okay.
They started, suppose my PhD started coding, PhD 4 years ago. I want to make sure that he's totally up to date in using the latest tool.
Yeah.
And for that, I do watch tutorials on coding online, with LLMs and such.
Yeah. So that was a very insightful, Professor Amit, talking to you. Just one last question I want to ask you is all this, everything that is happening in AI, generative AI and everything, and you've seen these video models and AI video generation models.
Visual models.
Visual models, the move, like VO3 is there.
Or,
Sura is there. If you had to recreate one Indian movie, according to you,
Indian
movie, Bollywood movie, anything, which one would it be? And why would you change it, according to you?
That is a very hard question. See, there are some subject matters for which movie creation may be practical. The first movie entirely generated. First movie entirely generated by the tools has already been done, right? But creating movies,
recreate one.
an Indian movie, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm not sure that we are ready for that.
Okay.
The reason being that our culture and language and art, there's a lot of role of emotion. And can you create Amitabh Bachchan's delivery? You'll be able to create the language.
Yeah.
But the whole, what we call is how-bow and the trust and
His whole persona is very difficult. Yeah.
I'm not sure we are really yet. If you train them with lots of data, you train on all of Amitabh's content in the past, yes, you can. So you'll have to put in a lot of work, but not on the shelf.
So then which movie is it then? Just one last. Yeah. You thought of Amitabh, so then there must be some movie in your mind.
No, my favorite movie is something like Dil Chahta Hai, things of that nature.
Okay.
But I'm not, frankly, I've not thought whether technology is quite ready to do that kind of movie now yet.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Professor Amit, so much for coming to India as well. And all the best for what you're doing. And I
My pleasure, all this.
thank you so much.
Thank you.